This NFL preseason week 2 picks and PLL edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast. It's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is giving away $15 million in Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up with SGPN to claim your first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm's college football and NFL projections are now live. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stuck in the morning review with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Took a bath. We're in the bath over here from week 1. This is the bath side of the table.
Bath side of the table.
It's not a sexual bath. We're just we took a bath together last week. I think. I don't want to speak for CJ.
Yeah. Joining us here, the Bottom Line Bombs, aka the Bet Detectives, aka the Man in the Box, CJ Sullivan. What's happening, CJ?
What's up? I have my foot in the water, dipping the toe. I'm not saying
I fell in.
Yeah,
I fell in.
I'm not drowning, but yeah, I checked the temperature. It's a bit cold. It was a bit startling.
For me, not ideal on some of the locks, but did go 8-8 overall. Hit the Tampa Bay money line against the Bengals.
That saved me a little bit. That saved me a little bit.
And we gave it out at +190. I think they closed at plus 215. So that was a nice little cash there. And of course, the Rams just ram it, getting the nice win over the Cowboys there.
I got a paper ticket right here, Sean.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
Plus 215 on the Bucks is what I.
Wow,
what I
there we
got.
go.
Oh
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Circa very generous.
Oh, the blackjack cameras on here. Spuds took over.
The
I
whole
would
card.
have put the whole card.
Oh yeah, this display the ticket. I mean, nothing. Nothing I would put on social media. CJ.
No, but
I'm warming up. It's the preseason.
Sure, absolutely. But that's a good whole card checker, though. Oh, look at that! I got a plus 215 Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I would say I'm sitting somewhere between first touchdown and player prop stakes for me.
Shout out to Lane Gretzky. All time. I don't know if you're a bowler or what, or maybe that's actually your name, but Lane Gretzky, all time great name. In YouTube.
I wouldn't have gone bowling first. That's an interesting.
I mean,
what's
the sport with the lane?
Racing. I don't know.
I don't know. When has you ever seen racing except for the last 3 weeks in the Olympics?
Yeah, lots of lanes.
Plenty of lanes.
He cashed a Jets. Dolphins.
I think bowling's the last sport I would think of when it comes to lanes.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
The field is called a lane.
I know, you're joking.
Lane, yeah, that's fair.
Alley, whatever. But anyway,
bowling alley is the collection of lanes,
that's
right?
true.
It is kind of sweet that it's an alley.
And the track is a collection of right.
Yeah.
All
right. Jets, Dolphins, Bucks,
nice.
money line parlay.
Yes.
Thanks to us. All right. Well, there we go. We gave the listeners some winner. That's all that matters.
We gave all of them out.
Nothing like you didn't let me know so I could tail my own advice.
Right. I was on the Dolphins.
I didn't have that combination.
No, I was on the Dolphins.
No, these guys. These listeners have a very keen ability.
They do a good job
to take a little bit
through
from each of us. Yeah,
filtering through our bullshit.
Like they know not to take anything Sean or I says about the NFC East as factual or accurate.
They know what's filler. What's right.
Just us talking about we're always going to be stupid high on a team from the AFC South.
One of the signs is that you guys will do a play and I'll do the same thing. We'll do our play. We'll give our explanation and then we'll convince ourselves. You know what? I think I like that. I think I like Tampa Bay. I just convinced myself when I was,
while I was making the case,
as I was running my mouth about them. I actually think I made a point there.
That is part of the game.
Sure. And for those keeping track at home, if you tune into the VSiN show, not last Friday, the Friday before, I did give out Las Vegas plus 1.5 there. Now I know once they announced that they were going to be doing the quarterback competition, got you ahead of that number. It closed 3.5. They lost by 1. So a partial win for me, Ryan.
Wouldn't have expected any less from you. Making sure we have asterisks. And
you got to remember how to tout.
Sean, as you know,
I'm working my way into regular season.
The preseason tabs even being included in the regular season sheet is new to this year. So, but they are not going to be tainting the records tab.
Don't worry.
So you don't have to worry about your touting. I mean, I appreciate it. It was great. Great market awareness.
CLV.
We're not CLV shop, but that was really good market awareness.
I need to learn the skills of the audience here and all the
just select the
degenerates because I listened to the VSiN part where you say I still like it.
Yeah,
it's 3.5 and what was that? Like, all right, he still likes it. Let's go.
Well, that's just me being that is the part. Like, if there was one part of the game, if I was self scouting, it's the willingness to not give a fuck.
No, and I do appreciate that because I do hate nothing worse when someone tells you about their great number and then say, I wouldn't touch it now. No way could you possibly touch out to no play. So I just wanted to tell you how good I have it.
I know.
And
I
how
think
you can't have it.
That's almost why I lean into it more is because when I hear people doing that, saying they got the better number, they wouldn't do it now, that it annoys me so much. I just go out of their way to say the opposite.
Absolutely.
You guys just captured
yes
in a bottle why gambling like most people in the gambling content space suck at making content.
I do love
right there.
That's true.
Right there, because their number's better than yours.
Right.
Like,
did have a fun time at Bet Bash, but I'll speak for everyone.
Yes.
No fucking shit having the best number is the best way to win.
Really?
You're telling me it's better when you're betting the favorite to lay less points than more points? Okay, good idea.
Always had the right number. That's why I'm the Deli Llama, Sean.
Yeah,
I give out good numbers only.
I need to update my CJ shirt collection to get the Deli Llama.
Yes, get the shot, the Bet Detective right there.
Yeah, Jay. There's so many fun things you can do with a Deli Llama shirt.
It's incredible.
I'm picturing like a big red deli number prominent, and then there's maybe a llama and like some capicola flying across the fucking page.
I like a guy holding a deli number with the hook on it. What? 4.5.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
All right,
that's even better.
We'll get
better.
We'll get Jake working on the Deli Llama.
I tried to be creative. See what
No,
happens.
we got hoodies and T-shirts.
Nope,
Don't worry,
nope.
there's room for plenty of ideas.
Just give me machines to take apart.
All right, let's go, Kramer.
All right. Let's see. So this. Oh my God! I'm already annoyed.
What happened?
Nope. Never mind. I was gonna say I fully outsourced the creation of our sheet to AI today.
Wow.
Just put it out there. Mostly there was a little artisanal work by me, but so if there's any mistakes, blame the machines. Thursday, 4 p.m. on the West Coast, we got Sean, your Eagles. I guess they're starting to get them on the early game, getting them ready for that daunting road trip all the way down to the other hemisphere. Philly, New England, they are practicing together this week. New England laying 2.5 -140 on the money line, +120 for the Eagles. 35.5 is the total. My sources close to the situation, AKA Sean, are telling me that the Eagles are whooping the Patriots ass in practice.
They did. I mean, the Patriots offensive line. Now, like I do think Judon and some of the guys on the defense, I think they'll miss Belichick a little bit scheme wise, but they have some talented players on the defense. The offensive line just got destroyed in joint practices. I mean, friend of the program, Boston Capper, was saying he was saying play the Bengals defense in DFS week 1. He's already trying to get ahead of it, and it'll be interesting to see how much they play Drake May. He only had like 3 pass attempts.
Yeah,
he was of all the rookie quarterbacks, they babied him the most, which is interesting. I know they keep saying that they're going to give Brissett the job and that he is, it's long leash. We don't need to make Drake May at all. But if that was true, why wouldn't he play like an entire half, 3 quarters?
Yeah.
It's very weird way of handling a guy like I mean, this is according to the Patriots. He's a developmental guy. We got the vet to start these early games. Then why isn't he out there more in preseason? That makes no sense to me.
No, you don't want to take snaps away from Joe Milton.
Well,
he did. I mean, him running around back there, and I haven't played any preseason DFS, but Joe Milton is certainly a guy you want to put in there.
For sure.
Joe Milton, Easton Stick, these fucking guys who have nothing to lose and will run around and get you some yardage, maybe a rushing touchdown.
Any chance Joe Milton steals Drake May's job?
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, what a horrible start to the reign. But if he looks that good, maybe they'll play him.
Oh,
I can't believe it. I mean, Joe Milton is still he can throw it far. That's about it. It's all right. So as far as the game, so joint practice games, we're gonna play the unders.
Okay. What is this total?
35.5.
All right.
Which these totals are bing bang boom all over the place.
Yeah.
What Jameis say? Knick knack patty whack. Give a dog a bone. Give Jameis or give Deshaun a bone. Do not give Deshaun a bone.
I just rhymed there. He was
I'm
amazed.
gonna go viral.
He was amazed by himself by saying a childhood rhyme.
He's amazed.
So what do we do here? Because the book, the sheet, and shout out to Veasan had a bunch of good trends about taking the dogs in the 1 to 3 range, taking the favorites in that 3 to 7 spot, which Kramer we ignored a little bit. CJ was on that.
He's coming over to your side this week.
Yeah, my market plays that I've did,
But-
pushed all week. Where'd you hear that? Week 1 show.
But Eagles. Now they did try and beat Baltimore, but Baltimore also was trying to win.
Jesus
Philly really
God.
doesn't care about winning a preseason game, and especially after a joint practice. And it kind of feels like New England could use a win here. I don't know. I'm going back and forth here. I guess I'll take the free 2.5 with the Eagles, but not going to lock it up. CJ, what are you doing?
First of all, condolences to my Ravens plus 1.5.
Oh my God!
Versus,
I mean,
versus those Eagles.
Are there bad beats in preseason? But
Yes.
Jake Elliott kicks a 60-yard field goal, hits off the post, and of course we know there is no overtime in preseason football. Then Ravens get the ball, they get strip sacked, the Eagles recovered, and then
the quarterback for his first play of the game. By the way. That was his first play of the game. He goes back, drops back, triple pump fake, looking around, strip sack, field goal. Let's go home.
crazy,
Eagles win.
hilarious.
So
I
you're
will-
not fading Sirianni anymore, especially in a week where he had a joint practice.
I'll take the 2.5. This
This
says
seems obvious.
this says 13-12 written all over it.
Yeah, that total is tough though. I think a 2017 range. I like New England in this one. First of all,
New England
England.
undefeated in the preseason.
I'm on Milton. Mayo, by the way, Gerard Mayo, of course, came out today and he said, anyone who gets in a fight in these joint practices, if you're a starter, you're playing the whole game come Thursday night. And if you're not a starter, you don't play at all. If you get any kind of joint practices. Now, I don't know the reverse
Pussy
motivation,
move.
if players want to not play or get in there. Who knows? Either way,
it's a great punishment.
Right. It's a great punishment.
But also, it's like the kind of thing a dumb guy would do to think he's smart.
Absolutely dumb guy. And the Patriots do have a good defense, top 10 back-to-back years, but I think that had a lot to do with Belichick, and I think it's going to be tough to replace there. And Geron, speaking of getting ahead of the market, though, he's still 100-1 for Defensive Player of the Year. And if he gets traded somewhere, if he gets traded to Chicago, Judon, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If he gets traded to Chicago, something like that,
No,
where you fit in perfectly, where
See,
there's rumors
he is
of.
He's
kind
got
of
he's got
interesting.
numbers.
I mean,
He's back there
Deli-
behind the
little Deli
counter.
Lama, he's 100-1 DPOY. He's exactly the kind of guy that would win Defensive Player of the Year on a good team.
Yeah, you're right. You can't touch it while he's on, but getting ahead of it with a small sprinkle.
Getting ahead of it, because I can see him being traded, and they want to trade him. But he's not like Hassan Reddick, where they're like, they want to have him get things out of here.
You got to let the pork age in your basement for like 9 months for some good prosciutto. All right, so only one weekday game this week, Sean.
Yeah, so I'm going with the Philly. You guys like New England?
I like New England. Yeah.
You told us fade Sirianni, and now you're just going back.
That was before I realized how bad the Patriots line
Atlanta
was.
Saturday 9 a.m.
I'm all Milton. Milton's one. Milton is, like you said before, is like one of those guys in the preseason you want to lock in. That's going to win you. That's going to win.
Does
you games.
seem like he's good at preseason stuff, which is throw the ball far. Atlanta, Baltimore, Ravens laying 1.5 minus 120. Falcons plus 100. 37.5 is the total. They did not practice together. I'm going to take Harbaugh and move on with my life.
Yeah, I think he bounced right back with it. It's a great.
They kicked a field goal on the 3-yard line. Like they were clearly.
Yeah.
I was sitting to some next to the guy I met at Bet Bash. I go, Does Justin Tucker really need to practice a 30-yard field goal? Like you could only injure yourself. I don't understand it.
You got to practice how you will in the game.
Yeah, winning is a vibe. 10 a.m. on the West Coast. We're now due another joint practice.
And just worth noting. Atlanta's just been horrific preseason as of late. 5-19-1 straight up, 4-21 in the preseason. So even through the coaches there, they've been bad.
So I mean, in general, you also have Raheem Morris in this very green staff. But 10 a.m. we got the joint practice continuation. Bengals, Bears laying the 6.5 in that range that Sean mentioned earlier that we're going to want to lay. -250 on the money line, +210 for the Bengals. 36.5 is the total. So we're going to take the under. And this was a joint because it was a joint practice. And I think you have to take the Bears. Bengals are a bet against team at this point. I think it's safe to put the Bears in a bet on team. Eberflus 5-2 overall in the preseason. And so let's lay it. All the numbers say lay it. I'm
laying the 6.5. We'll see how much we see of Caleb Williams in this, but there is also that trend of teams winning by 20+ points in the preseason and then they're back at home. That's a strong trend. Eberflus clearly
that trend 4 or against.
Trend 4.
Okay.
You would think because it's weird. If they're on the road, it's bad.
Right.
If they're at home again,
Hilarious.
it's still because it's the opposite in the NFL, right?
But that's what I love about preseason trends.
The regular,
preseason trends in general. Like as soon as you read them, that could be anything right there. That could be normally that sounds good, but in preseason that's bad,
So I'm with you, Kramer. I will take I will take the -6.5 with the Chicago Bears. CJ, what are you doing?
I will take the 6.5 with the Bengals, and this is my reasoning here. The fans want to determine how serious I am with this one or not, but I am definitely with Baltimore. But with Cincinnati, I'm taking the 6. They just had that blowout, the 33-6. Caleb looked great. That's going to make a fantastic Hard Knocks episode. Now the writer's given the new script. Here's this week. We need to bring this back. We can't just cruise into another blowout. We got a show to think about here. And now they need a little, a little hardship.
Create a little drama.
A little hardship. Get the third stringer in there who got rained out last week with the parents in there shaking and going for the parade from Florida. Neil Reed, whatever his name is, or Neil Reed's the one who got choked by Bobby Knight. Doesn't matter. One of Austin Reed or somebody. Point is, I'll take the 6.5. That's a lot of points anyway because give me some Hard Knocks drama.
I like the angle.
Well, and in general, it has been good to fade the public here with the betting splits. We'll see how some of these close, but it does look like Bears 85% of the handle, only 49% of the bets. So you certainly are probably fading some square action there, but everyone's all over the Ravens and handle for the Patriots Eagles 64%. On the Patriots handle wise, only 43% of the bets. So there you go.
So nothing crazy. We don't need to get crazy about that. All right. So
right.
Also,
what public's getting down right now too? Also,
it's true
on week of headline preseason
that is
games.
True.
Yeah,
we're attacking it early. Joe Q Public hasn't fired up his app.
This money is moving the number for sure. Right. Also, I assume are the Eagles planning on playing their starters less than they normally would because of the joint practice?
I don't know. It's interesting because
it does seem that way. A lot of teams approach it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway, worth noting because so many teams are doing it for the second game this year, which seems a little strange. I know that the third game is further away from week 1 than it used to be, but anyway. All right, another matchup here, 10 a.m. on the West Coast. Giants, Texans not practicing together. Giants catching 3 +140 on the money line. Houston -165. 39.5 is the total. Dable kind of a bet against ATS coach. That was his first ATS win in week 1 last week. Meanwhile, D'Amico Ryans, you kind of spot the energy coaches as preseason trying to win guys. I think this is where it shows up big time. I think we see the starters play a decent amount for the Giants, but I think the second half anything is possible. you lay the points with the Texans here.
Yeah, I'm on Houston. I mean, a lot of Giants are banged up. Tyrone Tracy looked really bad. Turns out it was just an ankle injury.
How dare you bring that up?
No, I was gonna say it.
They brought out the air cast.
Yeah, they made it seem like he blew out his ACL. It turns out it's just an ankle sprain, but I don't think he's playing. Drew Lock, I don't think he's playing, right?
Drew Lock is a bum.
Okay. Neighbors is dealing with an ankle sprain. I would be surprised if he played him.
Yeah, he's not playing.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a bunch of good reasons to be on the Texans -3 here.
Yeah, but even if you just handicap the second half, I think Dable not generally trying to win these games.
No, CJ, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I like the Texans, and even though we faded them last week, the ones that had the Hall of Fame game, them and the Bears looked great last week. Both
they were ahead.
Great. They were ahead of the schedule there, so they're finishing up third game. Like you said, I like the energy at home coming back, and Giants definitely a fade off a big win versus Detroit, even though they were on the wrong side according to some touts online, some influencers.
Okay,
because of the passing yard stats or something like that.
That was definitely they kicked our ass last year. That shit's not happening again.
I like it. So
we lay it though this week.
Yeah, I'm on Houston this week for sure.
1 p.m. on the West Coast, we got the Detroit Lions against the Kansas City Chiefs. This was a hell of an opener last year.
Great.
Remember when Kadarius Toney created that interception out of thin air? Kansas City laying 6.5 here, back into that range. Minus 300 for the Chiefs, plus 250 for the Lions. 38.5 is the total. I mean, not much to report here. They didn't practice together. This is in the range where you generally want to lay it before you take it. And Dan Campbell has less than stellar preseason numbers. Andy Reid right down the middle.
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, Detroit is 1-9 now. ATS last 10. I'll continue to ride that. Give me the Chiefs laying the 6.5. Not lock potential, but I do think Chiefs is the angle. CJ, what are you doing?
I want to know, does Kansas City rest Carson Steele this week? I mean, can you even afford?
Yeah. How do we not talk about our buddy Carson Steele?
Can you even afford to give him reps out there? He's too valuable at this point.
Well, and the fact that they gave him that 1 yard carry, look out for first touchdown, anytime touchdown.
Yeah.
The Carson Steele memes. I mean, it's been us joking around a little bit about hyping him up, but man, like he really ran through contact.
He's a good running back.
He's all like Carson Steele. Also, I think if you're Andy Reid, he's a guy you put on the team to be like, hey, if you fucking bust your ass, you have a place on this team. Like I think,
right.
And I don't know. I obviously don't watch their practices, but just seeing his effort on the field, his involved in the passing game.
I think we might have played it on the show. If not, we definitely the clip of Andy Reid talking about Carson Steele trying to, he's a guy trying to make the team, and he's got this just like shit eating grin.
Mm-hmm.
He's making the team.
They're calling him a fullback, which is awesome.
So we're putting him a fullback because he's white. He doesn't really play the position, but that's kind of what you got to do. Cornerbacks turn to safeties, that kind of situation.
Try hard.
But and also we're gonna have to cut that rugby player now. Unfortunately, he just came here. He was loving the country, but sorry, we didn't know we can't have two crazy white guys on.
Andy Reid loves that he's got that pet alligator named Crocky J.
Yeah, how could you not?
That's amazing for sure. So yeah, I'll take the Chiefs just because the Lions are a fade.
Yeah, all day. Let's
Next
go.
up, Saturday, 125 on the West Coast. The Vikings taking on the Browns. They're practicing together. Cleveland minus 3.5, minus 195 on the money line. Minnesota plus 165. 36.5 is the total. Most of these joint practices start on Wednesday or Thursday. I believe the Eagles, because they play earlier in the week, started Tuesday. So again, this is a Minnesota. Kevin Stefanski, they kind of accidentally took care of business last week against the Raiders. I still think he's a bet against preseason coach, and I still think Stefanski is a borderline. Like, are we going to get a better version of the backup quarterbacks in Cleveland this week? They weren't really looking too hot last week.
No, but then now it looks like obviously JJ McCarthy's going to be out for a little bit. Is dealing with a meniscus. So and he
didn't know he was soft.
I thought he looked all right, but Sam Darnold also is a guy who's gonna look awesome in the preseason. maybe they have to play Sam Darnold a little bit more. Like, what else are they doing quarterback wise?
Playing the other guys on the roster. I'm sure Sam Darnold gets a half, right? Maybe less, a quarter plus.
It's just interesting with no McCarthy. I guess you do have Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall, and Jaron Hall is kind of a guy you'd want to bet on, but I'm still looking to fade Minnesota. I'll take Cleveland laying the 3.5. CJ, what are you doing?
Yeah,
here?
we gotta go. I mean, DTR for crying out loud, right? I mean, he was not a factor as much as we expected him. That's why I think a little bounce back for Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Do they play Deshaun Watson at all? I mean, what do they do?
He has to play, right?
DTR was 14 of 8 for 134, so
yeah,
not bad. But hopefully they can get a little more points going.
I would, if I was again, they practice. If I was a team, I would want to get my starters out there for at least a quarter.
No, they got Jameis Winston.
Now that's the thing that makes Cleveland very interesting for this game. How much Jameis do we see? Sean, how much Jameis do we see on this game? A quarter?
I'm
plus?
hoping more. I'm hoping
easy
more.
handicap. Lay it.
Let's go.
Also take the under. Remember all the unders on the joint practices.
Now, what was the under record last week? I heard it was pretty hefty, wasn't it? So
the overs were actually pretty good because of all the they haven't factored in, according to Steve Fezzik, they haven't adjusted with the new kickoff rule. And it does seem like there's some decent kickoff plays, although I am worried that the coaches are going to figure out just to blast it to the end zone and take the 30-yard line every time.
That's the
does seem like that's where we may end up.
Mathematicians are saying that it's worth it, just blasting it to the end zone.
Yeah, we'll see. Football, it's a great football play.
The quants have spoken.
Jets, Panthers, another joint practice here, and the Jets have kind of turned into a bet on team in the preseason, especially with Mr. Adrian Martinez in cleanup duty.
Ooh, that was
you got a spread to cover, bring him in. Minus 3.5, minus 180
Stallions
on the road. I mean, CJ made the point in the office. He is in championship form.
Yeah.
Panthers plus 150, 32.5 is the total. It's a low total to take, but it's a joint practice.
All over
I'm
the
pot
Jets.
Committed.
They clearly were playing to win at the end of the game.
Yes.
Last week, I think they're going to play to win the game again.
Coach Aaron wants to see wins.
All day on the Jets.
Will player coach Aaron have any play this time? No, he's not playing in the preseason, right?
I mean, I guess you're kind of crazy if you play him, considering he blew out his Achilles in 2 plays.
Yeah, but he was going to come back for the playoffs. I mean, it's funny that he still needs time to rest, but he was going to be ready.
He's ready by in December. Yeah, come back player of the year.
Seattle, Tennessee, another joint practice here, and I'm just going to tell you, Seattle, where'd the coach come from? Came from Harbaugh's Baltimore system. They're trying to win in the preseason. They so much so they even took down a Harbaugh. Seattle is catching 1.5 here, plus 100 on the money line. Tennessee minus 120, 35.5 is the total under. And I guess we're a Seattle squad now. Although, goddamn, Sean, how good did Will?
Will Levis looked awesome. He did
so good.
The run after the catch by Calvin Ridley. I'm just imagining a lot of passing yards. CJ, and I don't even know if we should talk about it in the show anymore, but
this sounds like B reel for this mayonnaise commercial. He just shot. Jesus,
Josh, can you pull up the Mayo commercial? We got to talk about this.
Sounds like the editing room in there with you two.
Am I watching Will Levis in a mayonnaise commercial or having sex?
All right, same thing. What were you saying there?
Oh yeah, all over Seattle. But Will Levis most passing yards. When we started talking about it on DraftKings, it was 100 to 1.
Yeah.
When we did our presentation at Bet Bash, which we included, it was still 70 to 1 on DraftKings. It's now 30 to 1.
I looked on Bet Online.
30 to 1.
I looked on Bet Online. Minus 110. Minus 110 for Will Levis to lead the league in passing yards.
Did you just call it a presentation at Bet Bash?
Yeah. What do you? You're up there in front of. It's a well lit room with a bunch of
presentation.
Oh no! What did I do? Here we go.
Ooh, I like this shot.
Yeah.
Oh, this is incredible.
It's Will Levis running around
Like a cologne commercial,
Yes.
you know.
But you are the ingredient to
Drinking mayo.
success.
He's smelling it.
Yeah. Oh, this is disgusting, but and
just love it.
intoxicating. And intoxicating. The finger dip in the mayo at the end here.
Dude, this is an MVP.
I mean,
Greatness.
I got
This is like a young Peyton Manning.
Number 8,
right.
Parfum.
The mayonnaise.
Will Levis. You might as well see Photoshop your two faces in there, or at least on the bottle of the SGP logo or something, because you guys are Team Levis. I mean, you guys have been pushing this thing. You're the Pied Pipers. You're leading this charge. You're moving ahead numbers.
I do feel like we might have to get a little MVP now too.
Yeah,
just
to balance it out.
We'll have to ask the Dalai Lama to get us a number when we're out for sign up weekend.
I'll take Seattle as the small dog though.
Yeah,
CJ,
I like Seattle.
Little yapper
sure.
here.
Yeah.
Seattle +1.5.
Ravens and Seahawks are both birds, Sean.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Of course, make sure you sign up over at Underdog Fantasy if you haven't already. Get in on some Will Levis action over on Underdog Fantasy. Ryan's laughing at my. I do have my Waterdogs hat on with a giant X over because the Waterdogs season's over. They're losers, but you're not a loser because you're signing up over on Underdog Fantasy. You're using that promo code SGPN. You're getting that deposit match. You're getting some great opportunities to get down on a ton of action. Will Levis, 34, 65.5 passing yards. I'm going higher. Get it. 34.65.5 and use that promo code SGP and get you that sweet deposit match. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, what else we got?
All right. We got, and by the way, let me throw this one. Here you go, Sean. This is for you.
Lane Gretzky. Yes, he said his name. It's an alias because one of his homies gave me it back in the day when we all used to rap. Lane is his name. Gretzky because I used to skate on track.
Oh shit! Yeah, I wonder if did Naas know a Lane Gretzky back then?
Yes, my rap alias.
That's very dicey if you enter a rap battle. I mean, lame Gretzky is right there for your opponent. You know, I'm just saying.
Skate on tracks. All right, Arizona, Indy. The Colts and the Cardinals are practicing together. This is sad. This is another 4 p.m. on the West Coast kick. -3.5 for the Colts, -180 on the money line. Arizona +155, 36.5 is the total. Sean just secured a Kyler McBride stack in the main event.
Oh, wow.
FFPC. Very excited about that. This is another under, obviously, but the handicap is interesting. I don't think either team is necessarily bet on, bet against. It is in the range where I guess you'd want to lay the points.
Yeah,
barely.
I'm gonna go Arizona +3.5 here. I like the lay in the 3.5 trend for the most part, but I feel like Arizona's scrappy enough to hang around here. I'll take Arizona.
They didn't look very scrappy last week.
Yeah, well, but they hit it right.
They didn't cover the number we talked. New Orleans was laying 1.5 last week. I think.
Yeah, they lost exactly by 2. That one was back and forth though. I mean, they were competitive, is what I'm getting at. And I don't know, Indy. I didn't really. I'm trying to
actually give me Arizona as well because it does seem like Richardson might.
Indy's defense got lit up by Bo Nix, Jared Stidham. Like
that was the game of the week though.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
They knew they were playing on Monday.
That was great.
I think I like Arizona in the points here. CJ, what are you doing?
I'm a Dalai Lama guy. I'm a market man.
Oh wow!
I mean, just a little piggy went to market. Let's lay it 3.5, whatever. Yeah, marketplaces. I don't even remember the teams that are playing, but I heard -3.5. Right, it does not matter.
Numbers. All right, another joint practice here. Bills, Steelers. Another 4 p.m. kick here on the West Coast on Saturday. Both bet on teams. If you follow along, Tomlin and McDermott. Steelers laying 4.5, -210 on the money line, +175 for the Bills. 36.5 is the total. They have two. Are the Steelers just going to play their 2 starting quarterbacks here?
I don't know if Russ is healthy yet.
All right, it's tough. I tell you what, though. Let's also not downplay a Mitch Trubisky revenge game.
Oh yeah,
nope. I'm out.
Didn't work great last. It's just all they schedule is Mitch Trubisky revenge.
He did not look like he wanted revenge last week. I'm out on that angle.
It's tough because Buffalo got their ass kicked. They did let Josh Allen play a little, and both these teams, Pittsburgh does care about the preseason. Although you would have no idea if you watch that first half.
Oh, they looked pissed.
I did bet $50 at 25-1 on Pittsburgh in game, and they made a little comeback. That was a fun sweat. Ultimately, did not win the game, but
Sean,
I don't know if I could.
Pittsburgh, a sloppy Pittsburgh team that Minka Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, and Mike Tomlin all said on mic during the broadcast, really, it's just sloppy play. We got to clean that up in practice this week.
Tomlin was pretty pissed. I'll go with the Steelers.
You don't think they're going to come out a little cleaned up? Also, more of the starters are going to play this week.
CJ,
this is a spite play, which you never should do in gambling.
No. What happened? Emotions?
Well, I mean, last week the Steelers. I mean, you guys, quite frankly, almost clicked the button for me. You guys said
we did really. When we were very high. I called them the new Ravens. The Ravens also lost.
2-4.
Which I was right. I was right. But the best they were the new Ravens.
But the best was the sale of it. The work's been done for you. There's no need to even look into it.
Don't even think.
They've done the numbers. It's all over. Yeah. The Steelers covered. I didn't win versus the Texans. I was like, I don't know. Texans played that Hall of Fame game. That doesn't even matter. Comes to play.
He did bully you into it.
First half domination.
Should have listened.
Fuck it. Mitch better have my money. Let's go. Mitch Trubisky. I'll take the 4.5 Buffalo.
I like that. Mitch better have my money. All right. Another joint practice here. Washington and Miami. Another 4 p.m. kick on the West Coast on Saturday. Miami laying a 1.5 here, -115 on the money line. Washington -105. 37.5 is the total. You just bet against Dan Quinn, right?
I continue to fade him.
Okay, under and fade Dan Quinn.
It's pretty simple. I mean, I know you should be maybe considering the dog here with that short number, but no way. Dan Quinn's a pretty strong fade in the preseason.
Yep,
I'm all in on Miami. CJ?
Yep, I was on Miami last week as a dog, money line dog. Listeners, take it. Let's take Miami.
I mean, are we a little worried about Jaden Daniels? No, that one nice throw.
He
that was
good.
Beautiful. I think he did all. I love those guys who did good like that, like Caleb and Jalen, because they look the sign like we're done. We showed you all we need to show you. I mean, this isn't 10, 20 years ago. That's it. 1 or 2 drives, get the fan base happy, and then that's it. He's not going to see the field again.
No.
All right, Rams, Chargers, Battle of Los Angeles. Sean, everyone's talking about it out here. So much so the earth shook yesterday. This is now 4:05 p.m. on the West Coast.
The earth did shake.
It did. There was
Some say that was the official beginning of the 2028 Olympics. So
wow. Yeah. Okay. Rams catching a 1.5, -110 on the money line. Interesting. Same going the other way. Interesting. Maybe AI fucked up that money line. 33.5 is the total. Joint practice here in Los Angeles. I wonder if the coaches had their way, it would have been down at Hermosa Beach where they could both be shirtless.
Little beach volleyball.
You got to fade McVay. You got to bet on Harbaugh still. So, I'm under.
I don't subscribe to that. I am taking the Rams. Yeah, take the Rams.
McVay is a bet against coach.
Yeah, you would think that last week when they won against the Cowboys, this Chargers team seemed pretty checked out of that preseason game. So I will go Rams here.
I think Harbaugh is not going to tolerate that.
That was a good coaching moment.
Okay.
Also, in the Adrian Martinez ilk, they signed Luis Perez.
Wait, Chargers did?
The Chargers did. XFL champion.
Get him on the field now.
All right.
MVP.
I didn't realize that.
Game.
Okay, I'll go Chargers. I didn't realize they signed Luis Perez.
They signed him the day before the game, so he didn't have time to play in that game, but he'll be ready for this week. And Luis Perez will be all you need in the second half. And was that announced? Stetson Bennett playing the entire game last week. That was incredible. The McVay did that, and then
he did throw 4 interceptions. A game-winning drive.
Amazing.
He looked great.
Yeah, he did. That was a great Stetson Bennett.
So brave of him to return to football.
Insane that he, you're right, got a chance to win that game. He was terrible. So the Chargers are an easy play for me.
You know what that was? That was McVay trying to get him some tape so he could trade him.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, I need to get you out of
and
here.
then they not overcheered. He won the game with that touchdown pass, but
a little bit Rudy, little Rudy moment there.
It was, but yeah, Chargers an easy play here.
Bucks, Jags, little Florida matchup here. This could get frisky. The hot tub will be open. I wonder if they'll have the chlorine levels correct. Jacksonville -3, -165 on the money line. Bucks +140. 37.5 is the total. Doug Peterson and Todd Bowles are basically the same coach in the preseason. They're cool. They'll stand on the sideline. The team will win some, they'll lose some. I just for vibes, I want to take the Bucks here feel like the Todd Bowles face is extra grimacy this year, and I think I heard a lot of like, hey, everyone's disrespecting us.
Yeah,
maybe they're aware of the betting line in the division, and it does seem like they're a little bit more focused here.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa
horrible
Bay.
handicap for the preseason, but I'm on the Bucks.
Yeah. Speaking of regular season, are you back on Tampa Bay? I know you're on them last year, right?
Well, yeah, my the wife is a Bucks fan,
Okay.
so I'm always on the Bucks.
So I was looking at some prices there, and I'm also feeling I'm feeling the disrespect there for Tampa Bay.
It's crazy.
Absolutely, especially in that division. We're anointing, New Orleans and Atlanta. It's a joke. But how about Baker Mayfield? I saw him 150 to 1 for your MVP. That's higher than Will Levis. I know you guys are mayonnaising all over yourself at Will Levis, but I mean, this
Baker did win a playoff game.
He won a playoff game. They could be a 2 seed. Who knows? And he was a Pro Bowler. I mean,
I do like Jalen McMillan too.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, look at that.
So Tampa Bay +3.
Some are saying we should bet it just to fix the market, just to get our head get in there. You know what? Let's bring that thing down.
Away.
Did we learn nothing about the money line of Tampa Bay last week? What are they doing, making them dogs?
Right, that's insane. So let's do it. Tampa Bay vibes. I love it.
All right, Saturday night, 7 p.m. on the West Coast. We got Dallas, Las Vegas, out in Vegas. A little late night Vegas preseason action. Raiders are laying a touchdown, -320 on the money line. Dallas +260. What are they doing to us? 39.5 is the total. These teams did not practice together.
Okay.
Are the Raiders going to play their starters the entire game?
Maybe.
Half and half for each starting quarterback.
I'm all in on Raiders here laying the 7.
I love them.
Dallas sucks.
Sean, let me be the first to say I love the Raiders in a teaser here.
Okay, yeah, sharp. Sharp.
Look for a money line parlay. Sometimes you can get bad odds.
Yeah, that is also true. Yeah, I'm not going to take the Cowboys. Last week mistakes were made.
Yeah, Ryan, come on, what are you doing here?
Well, fading McVay usually.
CJ, what are you doing? Raiders.
Cowboys just ran into Stetson Bennett last week. That's all that happened to them. I mean, when you're talking about yes, there were a lot of asshole Cowboy fans out here. Of course, Oxnard, the training camp. So they were basically hosting the Rams. So they're being gracious hosts out there. Now when you go to Vegas, this is Jerry Jones. He made all these teams possible here. You want to talk about the jerkest of Cowboy fans out there in Vegas? I mean, this is going to be. There's one place that when they say. Is there any place you would rather be than right here, right now? They say that's the last place I would want to be. Is that Cowboy Raider game? So I do think it'll be. I think emotions will be high. That's a huge number to both numbers, total and numbers. I guess is it 39 because of how many points the Raiders scored last week?
Must be.
Yeah, I'm just going to fade the Raiders just because of how good they looked last week and how many points they did. I'll take the 7.
Oh,
contrarian, sharp.
Yeah.
Now we're on Sunday. 5 p.m. So a little warm up, little Sunday night football warm up here. Green Bay, Denver, Broncos. Bo Nix looking all right last week, Sean.
Yeah.
Denver -7, -320 on the money line. Green Bay +260. 40 is the total. Conventional wisdom would say Green Bay comes from a coaching tree that doesn't care about the preseason, and it does seem like Peyton is working some shit out because he wants to fucking win this year.
Yeah,
but this is a huge number.
7 is crazy. I know we're supposed to kind of look towards 7, but at some point this is way too high. And Green, Jordan Love looked good. Hit that bomb to Dattavian Wicks. I'll take Green Bay at the points, actually. As much as I'm optimistic on Denver and Bo Nix's situation, I think they're going to set him up for another nice run here. But laying 7's too high. That's crazy. I'll take the 7 with the Packers.
Yeah. I have a bet detective angle on this one as well, by the way.
Ooh, really? What do you got?
The Denver Broncos. Last week, Jason Stidham looked okay. And then they had that interception where Sam Perrine kind of just like, bobble the ball and kind of launched it up in the air. I believe some of these players have been coached and directed, if you will, to sell Stidham out to set Bo Nix up to take over the reins where he looks like the ideal number 1.
It's an inside job.
Yeah, it's an inside job. They're taking out Jason, who's an actual NFL pro quarterback, who should be the starter. And if you look deep into Bo Nix's numbers, they weren't that great. He did look good though. and that's the whole point of it. They want to look him good,
Yes.
make him look good as possible, get him out.
But the other guys maybe sabotage.
Of course, absolutely sabotage. So the team is in on sabotage. They're getting paid just like Miami was getting paid to lose back in the day. 100K a loss, whatever it was.
P. Ryan was one of the first signings by Payton.
Right, absolutely. This is a complete Sean Payton bet detective conspiracy. I'm on top of it, so I'll take the point.
So was Jarrett Stidham though. So maybe it's all an act.
Right, Jarrett Stidham was
Maybe
this guy.
maybe the whole thing's a ruse.
And then of course the nuclear option, if necessary. Zach Wilson comes in there at the end.
Oh, that's not the nuclear option. That's after the nuclear bombs exploded.
They weren't even
then
sure.
Zach Wilson comes out.
I'm not even sure he knew he was on the roster. Was he just driving to LA and he needed a place to crash? He stopped through Denver or something. He had a commercial agent or something.
A lot of hot older ladies in the mountains of Colorado for him to pray on.
That is Cougar country. So we're all on Packers +7.
Yes.
Last game.
Saints. Niners. They practiced together this week. Another Sunday night practice event, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. -2.5 for the Saints, -155 on the money line. Niners +130. 38.5 is the total.
No.
What have we learned from these coaches? Nothing.
I thought the Niners canceled the joint practice, or was that versus Washington or something? Remember they said they're too injured, so they canceled some joint.
Oh, maybe,
practices?
maybe.
I think that's what happened.
In fairness, I did grab this data a week ago. So.
Okay, yeah, I think that's what happened this week.
No longer practicing together.
Right.
Pussy. So give me the Saints
The
then.
Niners called it off.
Yeah, give me the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
If you're calling off practice.
Yeah.
They're soft.
I mean,
They're on a nice streak of covering as a dog, but they're a pretty soft.
They're becoming my new
organization,
Dallas. It's an
They
instant
top to
fade.
bottom.
they needed all of that 5.5 last
They
week.
did. All right, time for some locks and a dog, and then we're gonna get to Newbie, who's on the line here, and we will talk a little PLL. Kramer, what do you got?
Sticks up. Lock. Well, all right. So I definitely think you need to, at all costs, we need to. Well, there's two absolute. How many locks are we doing? 3.
3.
I think you got to start with the Jets. We got the quarterback situation, just perfect match. You got to also play the Bears. That's a good trend match. It's a good system match. It's a good bet against for the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read too many of the quotes coming out of Pittsburgh where they were cleaning shit up this week. And I just think about Tomlin saying, "I'm fucking working here."
Fucking working.
I'll
here.
run back the dog of the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Okay, nice little +140 money line.
And that's and then reminder, all the unders in the joint practices.
Yeah, I like the Jets. Not going to make a lock, but I'll go Baltimore. Not only them bouncing back, but fading Atlanta, who really is checked out. Cleveland laying the 3.5. I think this is a perfect spot for them to fade Minnesota, and then Chicago coming off that big win back at home, and then the Bengals clearly don't give a shit about winning. And for my dog, give me the Green Bay Packers +260 in a preseason game where Denver, like CJ said, there could be a little subterfuge going on behind the lines.
Subterfuge.
Someone's gonna have to. They're asking Siri, right? Siri, what does?
Fantastic.
Gotta be careful doing that. I might actually activate some Siris out there.
CJ, what do you got for the locks in your dog?
I'm going to go back to back with my locks fading my Eagles, going New England right off the bat Thursday night there, and it did not work out for me last week.
That's a great play this week.
But I love New England. Not love New England, but
It's a baby fucking wheel,
I love Joe Milton. That's who I love.
Yeah, that
That's
is a
for
fun
sure.
play with Milton.
Yeah, I like Joe Milton there for sure. New England and Baltimore, of course, you got to toss that in there. Third lock will be the Chargers, Harbaugh with Luis Perez.
Love the UFL handicap.
Yeah, UFL champion. Yeah, XFL and UFL. He's definitely great. He should have won the MVP of the UFL actually this year. He had more yards and touchdowns than Adrian Martinez. But
put me down for the Chargers as well, Sean. That's a good one. That was on the fence there.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, is this a bonus lock or is this
bonus
a
lock? Little preseason bonus lock.
Bonus lock.
Oh, you don't like picks?
No.
This fucking guy.
And my dog, I'm going to give out opposite of one of your locks, actually.
Oh no!
I know.
I dare you.
I hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Cincinnati on the money line for the Hard Knocks episode of them losing.
Yes.
I mean,
the fade.
yeah, it's written into script. I don't write the script. I just read them.
I actually like the script better if they go 3-0 in the preseason.
Yeah, that's true.
And then
And then things take a
reality
dark turn.
served up on the week 1 there.
All right. Hey, we're going to talk PLL. Before we do, shout out to Circus Sports. You got the Circus Survivor. You got the Circa Million, 16 million up for grabs. Kramer, myself, CJ, the Bet Detective, all going to be out there for Ultimate Contest Weekend, August 22nd through the 24th. Use the promo code SGP15. Come out, sign up for the contest, get 15% off your hotel stay. And proxy.footballcontest.com. Sign up over there. Use the promo code SGP. Get $50 off your contest. Proxy fees with their buddy Vegas Matty. Check out his Raiders team preview episode. Get all the info. Again, you got to sign up in Nevada, and you can play from anywhere. Circusports.com. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. Of course, go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, the place for AI sports picks and props. They're back. They got their projections going for NFL week 1, college football week 0, bunch of plays already in their model, or you can create your own models. Put big data to work for you instead of AI. Listen, eventually AI is going to take over, but in the meantime, we can use AI to help us win some money. Beat the bookie. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Get your free 7-day trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. Joining us on the line to talk all things PLL, the baby beluga himself, Dan Newby Alexander. What's happening, man?
I didn't bring my stick up here. That's on me. Now I feel left out. Boys. But I happen to be here with you, gentlemen, as always, with the beautiful lead. And I'm tailing some of those plays, especially all the unders. I like the angle of they're seeing each other all week long.
Yeah,
they just know each other. You know your opponent. You play the unders. I like it.
That's
I
right.
like it.
Yeah, so of course I'm wearing my X'd out Waterdogs hat. They are done to me, but
Dead.
they did lock up the number 1 seed. What do you make of the teams coming in here into the home stretch? Obviously Atlas seemed to be the team to beat, but Whip Snakes kind of been making a run. Nice win over the Denver Outlaws. What is your take as of the league right now? If you had a fire in a future for someone to win the playoffs, now technically Redwoods, I don't know if there's a typo on how many zeros.
1,000-1.
There's like, what is the scenario exact? Let's go there instead.
Their goal differential is pretty bad, so they
What-
have to win like 50-0.
What is the scenario to get the Redwoods in, newbie?
All right, so the Redwoods just need to beat a team by 12 points twice this weekend.
Okay.
So they need to play 2 games. They have to beat the team by 12. Unfortunately, they only have 1 game this weekend. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
All right.
This is a team, dude. They've scored 12 goals once this entire year, and now they need to do it twice in 1 weekend. So. I mean, it's pretty much done for the Redwoods, but I will say, you look at that future board. If you bet a single dollar, $1 single dollar on the Redwoods, if they were to somehow pull off the most insane upset and then make a run at the title, a $1 bet wins you $1,000 right now. A $1. Now, I will say, at NeubyTalks is my Venmo. Just Venmo me that $1, and it will go to a much better cause than putting a future in. But I'm glad you bring up the futures, because the one that stands out to me, guys, I hate them just because they won like the championship. It was like 3 straight years. They were the only champion that the league had ever known. And then parity started setting in, and that's the Maryland Whip Snakes. They're 6-1 right now. And this is a team that they lost out of the bye week for everyone out of the All-Star break. And since then, they haven't lost a game. 4 straight wins and 4 dominant wins, one of which was against the Atlas. So they've beaten this top flight competition. The way that the kind of schedule is going to shake out, I'm guessing they're most likely going to be the 4 seed, but they have a chance at the 3 seed. And how this works is the Atlas, they already have a bye. And then whoever gets the West, they're also going to have a bye. And then it's going to be 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5. The 1 seed plays the 4 versus 5, the 3 seed, so on and so forth. So there is no reseeding. I think even if the Whip Snakes fall to that 4 or 5 game and they have to play the Atlas if they win the first one, they've already proven they're the one team that can take it to the Atlas. The Cannons too, but I just like the Whips. They've added some pieces. Clearly, they think they have a championship run in them. So everyone talks value. 6-1 on the Whip Snakes. That's, if you're asking me a future right now, that's where my money would be.
Yeah. Well, and just, the bye week into the playoffs.
Yeah,
it's
bye week into the
rest
playoffs.
first, rust. We got the rest for like that's the part that worries me. Like I wish they were playing this weekend and not stopping that momentum.
Really?
But,
so is there rust in lacrosse? Rest first.
I would say so.
Yeah,
we hit people with the rust angle last week. The baby beluga that we dropped out on Twitter was fading the Atlas out of their bye. Get a little rest, so we took the Archers with the first of 3. So I think there could be a little bit of rust. I mean, those sticks that you guys have, they are stainless steel. They are carbon plated. So maybe not the sticks getting the rust, but the players themselves. An interesting note, though, guys, we're playing on August 16th, August 17th are the games this weekend. The playoffs aren't going to start until September. So not only are the Whips going to have like a big layoff, they're going to have an even longer layoff than everyone else. So that worries me a little bit, but we like the rest.
Right.
We like
real quick.
That's not true, right?
Why did they decide?
No league would do that. Right?
Why?
What are they doing? What are they doing, Newbie? Come on, play the playoffs next week. Is it like they got like a kids soccer game going on? What's
it could be maybe Chris Gray, he's got a couple pencils to push over at his lofty Lockheed and Martin job. But no, that is the one thing, and I say it to him all the time, is just like there's too many layoffs. You know what I mean? Like play it while the playoffs are going on. Instead, they're like, I think when the NFL has their first weekend starting, that's probably when we should have our semifinals, right? Let's go head to head with the NFL. I'll never understand it.
We would rather work around JP Morgan and their corporate retreat schedule than
exactly
the NFL, because the action is fun. It's fast. It's entertaining.
They should play that.
I'll never understand
an NFL game maybe on the field.
Oh, that would be great.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
I mean, the games are pretty quick, pretty action packed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if the football. I'm not sure if football fans might be a little confused.
We'll talk. To
they
Derek.
would be like, "What the hell is going on?" Dude, I don't know if you guys in one of the games this last weekend, one of the announcers cited. I think it was because the Outlaws they came like sluggish out of one half, and the announcer cited that it was the 13-year-old kids that play at halftime. He was like, they really got the crowd jacked up, and now the Outlaws. I was like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Like, are we serious? Are we serious right now? The dog frisbee at halftime really got him going.
The what's the bull lady that stacks the bulls on her? Red
Panda, right?
Red Panda really lit up the crowd.
You never have an opener that's better than you. That's what you always do. That's showbiz 101. You never book a yeah.
All right. Everyone has been enjoying your baby whales all season. Newbie, always appreciate you dropping them.
You should let them know we got to use it for the Dolphins team preview.
Yes,
so that was awesome.
Let's go, boys.
Your sound effect did make it into the Dolphins team preview for some reason, even though it is a baby whale. What do you got? What do you like for this week?
Dude, I'll tell you what, this weekend more than any feels like one that you don't want to fire on all that early. You got 2 of these 2.5 spreads. So do you want to take them? They're against, the reison why they're 2.5 here in the final week is because it's 2 teams who are utter dog shit, for lack of a better term. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But like the Waterdogs, they don't have anything to play for. And also with how the playoffs are gonna play into it. If you want to be a tinfoil hat guy, which I love to be, there's one game that's on national television this week, and it's Outlaws and Archers. So would the league like it? I mean, they've screwed our Redwoods all year long. Would the league like it if the Redwoods beat the Archers? Then it's the Archers have to win on homecoming weekend against the Outlaws. I mean, there's some nice storylines if you want to be a tinfoil hat guy, which I do. So I would maybe... Do I say go Redwoods on the money line? I can't have that be the baby beluga. But if you're a tinfoil hat guy, Redwoods stood out to me for sure just because. But I also have that future. I need them to get a win so they can actually get the 4 wins,
over
which I
3.5.
Yeah, exactly. So I would maybe look that way, but it isn't even an infant, little tiny zygote of a baby whale. The one that I was looking at, boys, for potentially turning into one. This is one that I am going to bet, but I'll put on Twitter if it is the baby beluga, because we're 7-2. I'm putting that record on the line, boys. So that's serious shit right there. Under the homecoming specials tab on DraftKings, which makes me like snicker to myself, which is like homecoming special. You're gonna maybe get to third base in the back of someone's car and on homecoming weekend. I'm looking at Mason.
Guys who will get penetration.
Sorry, Madden.
You're not wrong. No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Madden. That's some tough acting right there. Yes. But Mason Woodward to record 2 points is 2-1 plus 200. He hadn't had any points all season long because he is a defender. He doesn't really get much into the offensive zone. But these last 3 games, he's gotten a point in each of them, and he banged a 2-point goal last weekend. So he's going to have 2 games to potentially do what he's been doing a little bit more of here. Homecoming weekend, maybe he's got a little bit more juice for the hometown crowd, because he is a guy who's actually from that side of the state, believe it or not. So we're looking at Mason Woodward to get 2 or more points. 200, that's not bad for a little zygote beluga on a Tuesday.
Right there.
Love it.
I have a question for him real quick for newbie.
A question?
Well, it follows his formula.
No.
There's one time he gave out a beluga of the traded player first period goal.
Yeah.
To react in the team.
That
And,
was
that,
great.
and as you know, the sensible trade deadline is today in this Premier Lacrosse League, which is some teams seasons regular.
A little late in the season.
Regular season's already over for the Whip Snakes. The trade deadline is afterwards.
Yeah, and they're
Snakes,
adding players.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Whip Snakes traded Jackson Morrill to Utah.
Really?
For this homecoming.
Really?
Can we get a Jackson Morrill first period goal, trade deadline, homecoming in front of the new crowd for the playoffs?
I don't hate that at all, because not only is he going to get to play a little homecoming action, it'll depend a little bit more if we see like what the injury report is, because Morrill hadn't gotten any burn. Like it was actually like a dumb move by the Archers, because if you don't roster a player, then they just end up at the player pool. They could have gotten him in the player pool next week because the Whips weren't going to have a game. So, like, they really wanted this dude. So, you would think they're going to play him. The lines aren't up yet, but you're talking me into something. I like that. That's something that maybe on the repertoire.
I don't want to induce action, but I was just following your lead. This was your formula.
Hey, you might have helped impregnate a whale.
A little whale?
I think CJ just fucked a whale.
Yeah, a little whale sperm. That's all. Bring it out.
Nothing wrong with that.
We're gonna have a whole nursery of whales by the end of the show. Newbie, appreciate it. Make sure to check him out on X and wherever you get your awesome lacrosse pods. Thanks, Newbie. Appreciate it, man. All right, cut him off, Kramer. You hung up on the call.
I mean, I'll take.
We already got your pick, Newbie. That's enough. We don't want to hear it. Oh man, Jesus, that was hilarious.
No, that's producer Josh. Will take.
Producer Josh just executed Newbie.
Off with his head. Hey, we're gonna get into our PLL picks, of course. Make sure you tune in to stay tuned. The Sports Gambling Podcast, 32 NFL team previews. Each team preview, we're giving away 1 word. Collect all 32 words in order. Submit it at the end of the 32 team previews. 1 lucky winner will get a $500 NFL Circa future. Awesome opportunity there. And also EPL. If you're not subscribed to the Soccer Gambling Podcast, the EPL Gambling Podcast, I'm guessing that season is coming up. They told me to promote soccer. So there
Premier
you go.
League Gambling Podcast. You got there.
What did I call it? EPL? All right, what kind of the same thing.
What Malcolm would say to you is, no one calls it the EPL over here, mate. Don't embarrass yourself.
All right,
ball.
No, all right.
No, all right.
Well, that was it, Ryan.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, it included your correction, but yes.
No, I was just helping. Always here to lend a helping hand.
We have extra dead air time now that we hung up on Newbie, so we have to waste it on.
I mean, what was that documentary where they killed all the dolphins?
Oh,
that's Josh.
Wow,
right
really?
Jesus.
I'm just saying, Josh.
Bringing
That's
the
what
whole
Josh
show
just
down,
did.
right?
What was it, like Black Bay or something like that?
Blackfish, right?
Reminding people of all the dead
I'm
dolphins.
pro dolphins. Not a fan of people who fuck with the ocean.
Yeah, I think it was killer whales. That was the orcas right there, or the
orcas.
It was SeaWorld, right? Either way, it wasn't good for fish.
Orcas, trapping orcas and then being surprised when they murder humans. That's human behavior. I'm a fan of the whale, but it is something that would try to murder you if you were in the water.
No, absolutely. You know,
They're ramming boats left and right.
after the hit movie Jaws in the 70s, like Hollywood did a low budget one called Orca, like try to cash in on it. And half the trailer is just explaining what an orca is and its statistics of how big it is. And trust me, you should be afraid of this thing.
You probably statistically it is more dangerous to humans.
Of course.
Definitely. All right, I guess we're going to talk about some lacrosse. By the way, it didn't seem like there was a good answer as to why we're delaying the playoffs to get closer to football season. They're literally playing. I mean, when is the opening game for football? They play. I guess they play one round before the playoff or before the NFL starts, and then it's just like.
And two teams get a bye anyway. Like, what are we doing here? You're already giving the two teams a bye.
I don't. Yeah, it's going to be tough. You're competing. I mean, it is Saturday.
Crazy.
College football. I guess do people watch that? Redwoods, Archers, 5 p.m. on Friday. Alert your calendar. Redwoods, as we mentioned, are 1,001. I mean, what were you going to do with that slice of pizza anyway? Archers 5-1 minus 2.5.
I had pizza this afternoon.
Just bring a piece of slice to the window
And
and
it
see what
costs
they
more
do.
than $1.
I'll trade you.
Yeah.
I'd like a Redwoods future, please. minus 2.5 for the Archers, but you got to lay minus 300 on the minus 2.5. Plus, so I can get plus 220. Wait, that can't be right. I must have written something down wrong. That there's no way. Oh yeah, I fucked that up. It's all right. It's minus 120 for the 2.5. 220 on the money line, minus 300 for the Archers. 24 is the total. So the Redwoods effectively are going to have to win this game. Newbie kind of skirted your question about how to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have to win by what? 20.
Well,
24?
yeah, I'm not a mathematician, but he said 12 twice, right? So if that means they wins by 24 one time, that does it. That gets it done.
I think that was more satire because if you look at the standings, essentially what he is saying is they need to catch up to the chaos.
Okay.
Because if they end up tied with the chaos, they need to be better than the chaos's current -9 win or goal scoring differential. But the chaos also need to lose. So their scoring differential will get worse. Right now the delta is 22.
But you could also catch Utah.
Yeah.
Yes,
you're right.
Wins.
They can lose both games, and one of them is against the Redwoods.
Yeah.
So if Redwoods win by 12, Chaos lose by 12, then they have a shot.
No, if the Redwoods beat the Archers by 15, they would overcome the scoring differential they had, the difference they have with the Archers, and then they would need the Archers to lose the other game that Newbie just called a must-win on national television against the rival Denver Outlaws, formerly Chrome. But they could also get there by having the then Chaos have a negative 6 roughly.
It doesn't seem that impossible actually.
For it being there are multiple paths.
The goal differential between them and the Chaos is 22.
And the goal differential between them and the Archers is 35.
Okay. Now they can take care of business real quick by smashing the Archers by 20, right? Or something like that.
If they smash the Archers by 20, they are in good shape. But they still need 2 other games to end in a result where the Chaos lose or the Archers lose.
Yeah. And if they win by 20, now they're coming in with a -11 goal differential, and then the Chaos,
so
the Chaos who put up 4 last week.
So CJ, what's the more heartbreaking outcome for Redwoods fans? Is it they win and then they don't get the goal differential, or they lose by 1 goal?
Here's what I would say.
No. It's got to be the goal win and goal differential coming into the last game.
The alt number of -19.5 would probably be pretty large. So why not just take the championship price?
All right.
Take the money line. The Redwoods are alive.
I'll take Cali plus 2.5, and maybe the money line makes it into the parlay.
And technically, there's not a score they can win by. Like if they win this game, they're still alive no matter what, because both the Utah Archers and the Carolina Chaos still have to play their games, and if they lose a big enough score,
by like 50 or something,
it's not just like they could win by 1, and the Chaos could get beat by 50 goals. No more saving. Like Jesus finally gets offended with this fucking Blaze guy, and he proves a point.
Wow. Well, you know what? This is 2 weeks in a row now that you've come after Blaze.
Why would they possibly give us
moments.
a 1,001 with a team with so many outs? Give me the under. Give me the Redwoods plus the 2.5.
Slandered Blaze when he got his 1,000 save.
I know,
because he didn't finally give you an under. Then he comes back next week and gives you an amazing cigar piece under.
Just beautiful.
And now you're wishing. For the Lord to come down and strike. I don't know what you're watching. I don't even want to speak out what you're trying to manifest.
Just saying, he's been bragging about saving more than Jesus. I don't think Jesus likes when you do that.
Yeah,
based on my limited.
That's true. They taught the Beatles a lesson when they thought they were bigger than Jesus. And Blaze is not bigger than the Beatles nor Jesus. You're right, but he's damn near close. And I think the Redwoods season finally becomes the Deadwoods early on. Homecoming in Utah. Put them out there. Put them out of their misery.
What's the elevation of where they're at in Utah? Do we know that?
It's in Salt Lake, right?
Okay.
Well,
so you got Utah.
Sean knows elevation. How high is Salt Lake City, Sean?
Talking 4,900.
Okay. Not quite Mexico City, but it's
4,265.
Okay. Wow. You know what? And CJ makes a compelling point. Utah minus 2.5.
All right.
The highest point around Salt Lake is 9,400.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. CJ, you got to play for the total here.
And the total is what it's at?
24.
24. And Newbie just said now. Interesting because they do need goals. California. So maybe I will play into that where they will be wide open. Goal differential is
scrap that. Give me the over.
Goal differential is just as important as winning this game. Yeah. So I think it'll be bad defense, a lot of run and gun. It's got to be pace, a lot of things.
You got to score.
If ever there's a Redwoods over to play, it's this game.
Got to score.
Yeah. So you got the over 24, Utah laying the 2.5.
Yes.
All right. I'm sticking with the under and Utah laying the 2.5.
Cannons, chaos, 7:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Getting some late night lacrosse again. I like that. Friday night under the lights. Cannons minus 1.5, minus 135 on the money line, or on the what do we call it? The stick line, the pole line,
pole line,
pole line. Plus 105 coming back. 145 for the chaos. Straight up 22.5 is the total. Blaze, is he playing? Is he healthy?
He's playing, and not only that, the chaos signed a face-off guy today.
Wow.
They realize
that's when you know you're serious.
Yeah. If you watch it again, when they finally say, you know what, maybe face-offs are important.
End of the season, good time to get into it.
Because when you watch it, it's so maddening, the whole make or take situation. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not want to win these face-offs? How do you not want possession of the ball?
I did not, watching the whole season of this, at no point did I go, well, thank God they lost the face-off.
Yeah.
No.
They thought that was plus EV.
I kept waiting for it to okay, you win the face-off and then you're trapped and then you get this fast break going the other way.
No, they set up a half-court offense.
No.
I remember
they sit there. They get basically an extra possession.
We talked about this before the season, and it was like, oh yeah, they're going with this idea that because the shot clock's shorter, it's actually better to lose the face-off.
And what was it? What did the shot clock go from 55 to 50? What was the difference?
Someone needs to be fired. Whoever came up with that theory. All right, so the cannons and the chaos. I guess I need to take the cannons because I need the chaos to lose by 1 million.
Yeah, you do. So I
over and the cannons.
What is the total on this one?
22.5.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy.
Kramer taking a Blaze over.
The score at halftime last week in the Blaze game was 2-2.
Yeah, come on.
2-2. 4 goals total in that freaking game.
You're right. I can't take the trash cannons. Give me the chaos and the under.
You can take that. Yeah, under is such a lock, and it's also just like we said, California needs to score. If anything, chaos need to park the bus, win or lose.
Yeah, I'll go under.
They can't have a goal differential where they're getting lit up.
Silly.
Yeah,
so
silly.
they're not going to be any rush to rush this ball up. So
no, they won't. They're going to lose. So CJ, do you have them?
What's the money line on that? Is this another 2.5?
45. 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 105 or 145.
Feels like it's going to be 6-4 cannons.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that. Under for sure.
Plus 1.5.
Yeah, I don't know.
But to CJ's point, they don't need to win. They just need to not give up goals.
And I'm kind of
and they don't score.
So I should be back in the cannons.
They don't score goals.
Give me the cannon, trash cannons.
They don't score goals when they need goals.
Right.
When they don't need goals, they're going to be on cruise control. They're not going to worry about
great handicap.
It's going to be like 4-0.
16-2.
Yeah. I'm going Boston minus 1.5 and under 22.5.
I'll take a 16-2.
CJ, what do you got?
Give me the +1.5 chaos. Right. Even though I do like I
chaos reigns.
I think the Kansas they need to get some momentum going into the playoffs though too. I'm not done with them. I know I'm the only team that's still alive. Technically, I do have the lacrosse hat on today because they need to be taught a lesson. They need to know. I'm a little angry at them. Chaos. That 4 goals last week was pathetic. They do suck.
Trash cannons are gonna roll.
kind of feel so, but you locked me into that +1. Under is what I like there, anyways. But I'm also almost done with this. Like I got a folder full of sheets here. It's worthless. I feel because of the ridiculous rules. This is a season full of notes have got me nowhere. Anyway,
well,
give me 1.5 and the under.
Saturday, if the Friday games are on an island, no real competition, genius stuff. Saturday, right in the snap dab, right in the middle of preseason football. What are they doing? Atlas, Waterdogs, New York, Philly. Philly does not have a future price because they are eliminated from the competition.
Thanks for the reminder.
175 for
was
the
unaware.
Atlas. They're the chalk. Atlas laying 2.5 here. -260 on the money line. Waterdogs +195. 26.5 is the total.
Last time they played, I locked up the Atlas -2.5.
Yeah.
Of course, these scrappy dogs get out to a first half lead. They're winning in the first half, and then they blow the game, but don't. But the Atlas don't cover. This is their season in a nutshell. It almost makes me want to take them +2.5 and on the money line. There is nothing more Philadelphia Waterdogs than them winning a meaningless game here.
New York has already clinched, right?
Yeah. Waterdogs are going to roll. Both their goalies suck. Take the over 26.5. It's that simple. Philly +2.5, over 26.5. Kramer,
over and New York.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
CJ,
I don't see New York putting too much of an effort out in this game. To be honest.
Yeah, they don't.
I don't understand why they would even care. And the air gets thin up there. Take the under 26.5, no problem, and I'll take the 2.5 with Philly. Like you said, pride. Let's get a little pride here in Philly.
It's not that pride's not big in Philly.
Rivalry. Listen,
Would you call me?
One of the things I have enjoyed about this adopting this PLL this year is being able to take shots at Philly fans as I adopted my Carolina Chaos.
Oh wow!
And it's been very therapeutic.
I know. We may as well retire in Myrtle Beach, CJ.
But I do think they bounce back just because it's the last game before a terrible offseason there, and New York's not going to have anything to play for. It is kind of the Philly New York rivalry, and there is a talent there. Give me two.
They just got cities. Come on, New York. That's and they don't even play in. It's not real New York like New Jersey. It's upstate. Anyway.
And where did Philly play? Villanova, was that what their home game was at?
I'm just saying this. I would say it's more. This is just a bad team versus a good team. Good team could play its backups and still crush the number. Denver, Utah, 6 p.m. I guess this is a critical matchup for my Carolina makes the playoffs parlay. -1.5 for the Archers, -135 on the money line, +105 for the Outlaws. 25 is the total. It is funny that you have a bye for the Whipsnakes the last week of the season. That's just utterly. I mean, it's a cheat code. East Coast bias. I don't have a handicap here, but I do need my Outlaws to win by like 15 goals.
They can get a bye, Denver, somehow. Not likable, but they have a somewhat of a chance to get a bye.
So we'll take the Outlaws and we'll take the over because I just need a threat. I need Utah to have a -50 weekend.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a lot to ask for. This is always my if bet. I haven't got my if bet right, but if you're listening, you wait on that first game.
I think we were on the exact opposite last time.
Right.
I was fading Denver in the first game, and then had them in the second game, and the exact opposite.
Exact opposite happened. The field looked amazing. The crowd was amazing in Denver, though. By the way, that was
we called it. Sold out crowds.
You must be kicking yourself for not adapting them instead of the Deadwoods.
I'm so pissed.
Jeez, they're right there for us. So what a short.
Had I known they were the Chrome before, I would have been in.
Incredible. So, I'm predicting Utah beats California in the first one to lock it up, and then Denver will have something kind of to play for. Utah will not. So I'll take Denver to split it. But if Utah does happen to lose to California, then they will beat Denver. So it's the old if bet, but I'm taking. Put me down for Denver.
What about the side? Or sorry, I'm with you. I like Denver. I like this team in general.
And they got to bounce back after that first game. Well, of course they did with the second game.
Well, that performance against the Whip Snakes, they came out a little flat.
I didn't bounce back. I'll say that.
No.
I remember I was cursing you guys who were on the air. Like, why'd you even get me into this shit? I was so confident in Denver in that opening game.
It was
a good.
It was a rocky start.
Got a lot of texts from CJ between the PLL stuff and the preseason NFL. Right. All right, so side.
What's the total on that game?
25.
Ooh, look on that weed.
I'll go under, but Denver's tough on the totals. I would.
Denver's tough on the total. I'll go over, and because also there is a chance where goal differential will make a difference in that.
You're right. All right, over because of the goal differentials. All right, lock Polay. Ryan, what do you got?
Lock number 1. We're gonna need the Boston Trash Cannons to beat the Chaos.
Okay.
Lock number 2. We're gonna need the Outlaws to beat the Archers.
+1.5. And do you have a Polay?
Well, of course, it's the what will the future price be for Carolina or for California?
You can use California
Yes.
Redwoods as your future
And
bet.
leave it open.
Redwoods money line and the over. Boston and Denver.
Boston -1.5.
Yep.
Oops, sorry.
Denver money line.
Yep.
Okay. For me, it's easy. Blaze unders all day. Just blaze it. Under 22.5. My other lock. I do like Denver in that. Denver in that last game. Denver +1.5. Although Ryan,
I mean, you're going to be nervous after Carolina, after the Redwoods win by 24.
all right.
That's the magic number.
My Polay. Philly. No, I can't even do it. Under 20. My Polay. We'll do Denver money line. Boston laying 1.5. And that's it. It's a simple 2-leg Polay. CJ.
All right. 2 totals for the locks.
Of course.
The California over.
All right.
24.5.
That's a good handicap.
It's 24.
24.
So make it a little
Perfect
easier.
number. Absolutely. They've only scored 12 tallies once all year. I like that newbie stat there, but they'll need it this week, of course.
×2.
Because this is all goal differential games. So there's any over to play. You play that one, and you do that with an under with Blaze, of course. So over, under, Blaze under, California Woods over. That's my 2 locks. Polay.
Cali Blaze. That's a great name of your lock.
Cali Blaze.
Yeah.
The Polay, not as easy. We're gonna go. I like to juice up with big money lines.
Yeah.
My Polay. That's how I like to do it. So we'll go Philly money line.
Whoa.
+195 to get a nice little win against a listless New York team that could care less about this game. They're number 1. They're walking. They don't have a real lacrosse game, although they probably should get some reps in since they don't play for a month.
I know they got the rare triple
trying to
bye.
figure that out.
This is like conference basketball season. Triple bye, quadruple bye.
And then I'll lock that up with Utah -2.5 versus California there to embarrass.
Oh, okay.
Is that plus money? That's got to be right.
Yeah.
So you got Philly money line, and then what was it? You said Utah -2.5.
Yeah, versus Cali.
Okay.
It's -120.
That's only -120.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a bad number. I'd like to switch off to California. What's 2.5 +2.5 California? Is that plus money?
-110.
Jesus.
It's right down the middle.
All right.
They're calling this a fair number.
I'll still take it.
All righty.
CJ will take it.
Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs wherever you get your podcast. Check out the Deli Llama, serving up numbers all week.
Yeah, we had a special guest, Leaf Schreiber, on this.
Yeah. Oh, that was great. If you're a Hard Knocks or a Leaf Schreiber fan, you owe it to yourself to go check that out.
Fan of Deli and numbers.
Check out all 32 NFL team previews, aka the phrase that pays, and of course,
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
for the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean. A second the money green. He's Ryan.
The reports are false. Sean did not say the phrase during an episode this week.
Kramer. Let it ride.